All right, it's day 163. So we just left the Carlo Col shelter. It was great. Good night last night. We had one other hiker join us. I forgot his name. He's a young kid. He's finishing his hike. We're trying to. He was quiet, so we were all quiet. It was a real quiet night. The negative is it rained. So everything's wet, rocks are wet, and you know how that is. So, might be more slow going this morning. It's also a little over a third of a mile hike back up to the AT, so it's kind of unfortunate. It's a long trek for this shelter off the AT. So, and I'm going uphill. So, yeah, that's the morning. It's our third day on this leg of full carry. We got one more day. So we're hiking to Trident Col shelter or campsite, and it's also our last day in Maine. Pretty early this morning we'll cross the Maine-New Hampshire border as we head south, and we'll be in New Hampshire, and then tomorrow will be our last day in New Hampshire. So that's pretty cool. So this is the hike back up to the trail, and yeah, and the rocks are wet. It's been about 2 weeks since I've fallen. It's been about 2 weeks since we've had rain. All right, back on the AT, and the first thing we come to is this. All right, wet rocks and all. Guess we're going up there. It's like a little bit of Mahoosuc Notch still here. All right. So we made it up all that. It was not easy. And you get up to here and you go, wait, what? I'm going all the way up there. Yeah, this is the trail. Gotta go up and then cross over there to that side. All right, this may be like I just couldn't figure out how to do it, but the only way for me to get up here and turn around and go up here was to take my pack off. Whew! Really stress testing the Durston Cockwa packs. So again, we start out the morning fresh, full of energy, legs feel good, and we're naive. So we discuss, hey, what if we don't stop at Trident Col campsite? What if we walk all the way to the road and get picked up? Be a long day. We could do it. So it's a possibility. It's going to depend a lot on how the trail is, how sketchy it is, how it slows us down, of course. If we can average like 2 miles an hour, we could do it before dark. If we average 1 mile an hour, no way. It's a 16 plus mile hike. So we'll see. We did hear that this section of trail was pretty easy, but I don't know. All right, the guy who left the comment on Far Out saying that this track between Carlo Col shelter and the next shelter, Gentian, was a cruise, has lost all credibility. So one note on this 4-day plan was originally we're going to go northbound from Route 2 all the way up to the Notch, Grafton Notch in Maine. And that would have put Mahoosuc Notch at the third day, and probably towards the end of the third day. So I took a look at that plan and suggested, why not we do south? And I didn't find anything on research that said south or north was like one huge, like red flag, don't do that, you know. So it just seemed like it was, you know, why not do south? So my reasoning was weather up here is unpredictable. It's supposed to be sunny all 4 days, but it was sunny now at the time and on day one. So the closer we could do the Mahoosuc knots, the better chance we have of the weather being accurate and it would be sunny. And I feel very vindicated today because now the rocks are all wet and on the third day. So I'm really glad we went south. In spite of the fact that we met a ranger at the very beginning of our hike who said, dude, you're going south, you made a big mistake. So whatever. We did south. We were already committed, but I feel like it was still a good idea. I'm glad we did it. Oh, and by the way, I am super happy to be out of Maine. Love Maine. It's my family's state, but I'm happy to not be hiking in it. And I'm really looking forward to not be hiking in New Hampshire after tomorrow. I should point out that normally Buzz and I would toast crossing a state line, being it was our final time in Maine. I know we've crossed it before, but we actually said before that we'll wait till the final one. But based on our planning, we knew we'd be crossing it real early in the morning. And even though I love my scotch, I'm not a big fan of drinking real early in the morning, or actually day drinking at all. I don't. Kind of have my own rule. So, I'll violate the rule if we cross the state border at 2 p.m., I guess, but yeah, not at 9 a.m. No. So we'll celebrate once we get off trail. And of course, then we'll be celebrating not only crossing the Maine-New Hampshire border, but being done with the state of Maine, being done with the state of New Hampshire, and being done with the whites. All those things. And I think at some point we've crossed 1,400 miles, I think. I don't know, we have to check. All right. I think it's about like a 900-foot high climb to start my day. And you can tell we're socked in up here. But I think we've successfully climbed to the top of... Oh, I wish there was a sign here. Maybe there used to be. So, we've successfully climbed to the top of Mount Success. Whew. I'll take a moment just to take note of the beauty of the fall. We're walking right through it, and it's pretty amazing. What's your name?
Halfpint.
Halfpint. Where are you from, Halfpint?
I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And how's the trail going for you?
It's been amazing. It's I'm through the whites. I guess we're technically in the Mahoosucs now, or heading that way.
Yeah.
It's been, wow. I can't really put it into words, but there's been days I wanted to quit. There's been days I want to keep going, and
Understood.
it's kind of a introspective time because of about 300 miles away from summiting. So it's yeah, I would say right now for me currently it's a lot of introspection.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just met that hiker, Halfpint, and I can tell you sometimes, you're walking along and you meet hikers and it's cool, but sometimes you like really stop and get to talk to them, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Like, I've been struggling a little bit today. It's kind of like a mixed day. She really kind of was uplifting because she's so positive and had a great talk. Anyways, brings me to my next subject. I think the best thing that would be freaking awesome would be if the ATC Appalachian Trail Conservancy or Baxter or both published a list, a daily list by trail name of those who have summited. That's all. Just say this day, the following 16 hikers summited. So when you're following people and you're wondering, did they make it? You know, there's a lot of people. All the way back in Georgia, I've gotten to know so many people. And, you know, I've mentioned before, you got to get used to the idea of making connections with people and then letting them go. That's the only time you'll see that person. But I just kind of like to know, you know, how are they doing? Did they make it to the end? Anyways, I think that would be cool. Now, if there already is a resource like that and I'm just an idiot, let me know. All right, we just popped out on Upper Gentian Pond. There's a much larger gentian pond we passed, but I didn't have any good views of it. All right, we reached the marshy section. You know, always kind of boggles my mind that there are marshes on top of mountains. For me, it's always been like a marsh is a lowland thing. But here we are. And I wonder if these boards sink. All right. The answer is no so far. All right, so far so good. That's a tripping hazard. And that's pretty sketch. Well, amusingly, the barge boards end here, and then that's the trail. So I guess you're kind of on your own through the rocks. Well, pretty sure we had a bear encounter, but can't see anything. Just hear them, and they're not very far off, but can't see it. Basically, a real heavy breathing, and I'm the only person here, so I don't know what else it could be. It's been a really cool day for just meeting people on the trail. We've met a lot of new people, and we've also met people that we have seen before, and since we're walking southbound, all these northbounders we cross paths with. I don't think there's anybody else walking southbound at this point near us. Is pretty rare. It'd be very late in the year for them to start. But anyways, it's been really cool. Probably should have videoed more of them. I haven't, but sort of helping rekindle my helping. One of my goals in hiking is to kind of reduce my growing distaste for people, and you know, I like him as a concept. It's just that individual people, I don't know very many. Well, it's getting off on just some weird tangent, but yeah, it was cool. Just getting to see a really kind of cooler side of people, and I know it's kind of not a general swath of the population because you are dealing with thru hikers, but anyways, the people we meet are, for the most part, been pretty darn cool, and really happy to get to know them. One of the hikers we just were talking to, turns out that her and her husband, I assume it's her husband, are friends of Halfpint, so kind of funny. But we had seen them and met them before at Carter Shelter, something. Anyways, and a couple other places. Anyway, she was telling me that she didn't want to camp on Success Mountain because of the plane crash there and their actual graves from the plane crash up on the mountain. So I didn't know that. That was, I'll have to look that up a little bit. All right, we're getting near the end of the day's hike. I got about a mile to go, but we'll see how it goes. But so far, the real positive thing was the rain from last night was very light, dried up pretty quickly. So it was only very early in the morning we had to deal with wet rocks, and by midday, all the rocks were dry for the most part. And yeah, and as I mentioned, it's just really awesome running into all these good people. Really like that. And yeah, hasn't been too hard of a trail. So be rolling in to camp soon. This is a tent campsite, and that means they have platforms for the tents that are pre-assigned, or these are tent places. Can't just pick a spot in the ground. And yeah, but no shelter. So that'll fix the shelter versus tent debate in my head. As like last night we ended up in a shelter, and since it rained, I'm kind of glad we did. I don't expect it to rain tonight. Skies are turning blue and cloudless, so might be colder. That should be fine. It's been a little warm. I haven't used any of the cold weather stuff I brought. And yeah, so that's kind of a wrap up of the day. It's like I said, it's been a good day. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Oh yeah, the big thing today is that we crossed from Maine into New Hampshire and crossed back into the Whites. And so tomorrow we'll be done with all of this. No more Maine, no more New Hampshire, no more Whites. And that'll be cool. Page Pond. Should mention one downside of the chatting with people. Though I'm not sure it would make me stop. As I say, I spend an average of 10 minutes talking to a person, another hiker. And I mean, today I've talked to at least 6. So there goes an hour. So it's yeah, I'm arriving at my tent site a little late. Oh well, it's worth it to me. I forgot to mention one other thing too that made today pretty awesome is the just the way these paths look. The fall colors, the fallen leaves. I mean, leaves are kind of a pain when you're a hiker, of course, but this is beautiful. And yeah, I keep stopping to admire what the forest looks like this time of year. Looking forward to more changes. It's cool. All right, home for the night. Got the tent set up. I still need to go get water, then make dinner. That's what I'll do now. Nice spot. Noisy crow. What's this bullshit? You gotta be kidding me. Wonder if we use this. Nope.
Well, here we are on top of Goose Eye Peak East, looking at where we came from, way back there at the top of those mountains, all the way across up to the top up here. And here's where we're going. We go down this little valley and about 3/4 of the way up that peak.
I'm laughing at how I look. It's third day in the woods, So, yeah, I've got a pretty long list of things I've learned on the AT that would apply to a thru hike. I'll probably make a listing or video of something like that after I'm done. But I just want to share with you one of the things that I've learned. And I kind of knew this, but I really didn't do a good job of it. Was I bought many different backpacking meals, like dehydrated vegan meals that I could eat. And my plan was to use some of them on some of my shakedown hikes, but we only ended up doing one overnight shakedown. My other plan was, well, I'll eat some at home and see if I like them. Well, given a choice between eating real good food and the backpacking meals, I just never did. So, I started this trip with a bin full of something like 75 backpacking meals. I bought multiples of certain ones. And so I've been taking them. So like last night, thought, well, I'll try this one. Really did not like it. But what's my option, right? So I do bring now, I've learned, well, it was Vanish's suggestion that I've taken to heart, is that carry an extra ramen in case you have a food you just can't eat. Well, like last night, I could eat it. I just didn't like it. So to force myself to eat this whole double serving dish that I didn't like, by the end it was just spooning it cold. I just wasn't, it did not spark joy. So yeah, that was a mistake. I mean, there are things I find I do like a lot and things I don't like a lot. And then there's stuff I could eat if I had to, but I really don't want to. Why not make this experience more enjoyable? So I've come to really like my ramen breakfast. I take ramen, a peanut butter packet, the seasoning packet that comes with it, toss in an extra thing of olive oil just for more calories, toss in some chopped up dehydrated tofu and dehydrated vegetables just to get some more nutrition and protein. And dang, it's a real good meal. Really like it. I could eat that for dinner too, but I do want to mix it up and get different nutrition in me. And when I first started hiking, before I started hiking, I planned on eating lunches, and I've come to learn that I don't like doing that. I don't like stopping. I don't like spending the time. I don't even want to take my backpack off and dig through anything. So I just snack during the day, the equivalent of a lunch. I try to get as much as I can in me as I walk. But I like that a lot better. That works for me. Some people like taking a break. For me, the taking a break thing, I take short breaks, but anything longer, it just seems like my legs hurt worse when I stand up. I don't know that it really helps me. Maybe it does, and I just don't feel it. Anyways, I don't do that. And I don't see myself starting to do that. So that just leaves dinners. And I probably should have done is refine my own recipes of, dehydrated mashed potatoes and refried beans and that kind of stuff, and made my own meals. I brought a few like that. I should just try them next time. But I never really got around to developing and taste testing it and getting the spice mix right, etc., that I would really like it. But I'm betting I would like it more than what I ate last night. So I'll try it.